There was a significant event that took place lately. Elon Musk has just been called out by the Shiba Inu development team. It is possible that a significant event is not far off. Having a conversation about large, enormous portions of Shiba Inu today has been called into doubt. The number of Shiba Inu that are being held captive is estimated to exceed 700 trillion. It is possible that altcoin season could arrive shortly. There is a reminder from the Shiba Inu team that we should be ready for it. Could this be the beginning of the dream run that we have been dreaming for? On the other hand, is this otherwise? Please allow me to elaborate. Welcome to Dr. Crypto, your daily serving of Shiba. This is the spot for you if you're curious about anything related to Shiba. If you want to keep informed about all the latest news forecasts and stay ahead of the crypto industry, subscribe. To get more Shib news, be sure to click the like button. Recently, we have already begun to see some indications of healing, which is just what you want to see following a downturn. The patience of investors is put to the test in situations like these. But if there is one thing that we have learned from the past, it is that Shiba Inu have a way of coming back even stronger than before. The way in which the whole atmosphere of the Shiba Inu community changed is something that is truly fascinating. Earlier today, there was an incredible amount of enthusiasm. The bullish momentum was felt by everyone, and they were all certain that further significant movements were on the horizon. While some are a bit uneasy, they are keeping a careful eye on the pricing. On the other hand, those who really believe in Shiba Inu consider this to be only another stepping stone. In the community of diamond hands, it is common knowledge that pullbacks are an inevitable aspect of the game, and they are already looking forward, anticipating the next step up that will come their way. In addition, the market is exhibiting preliminary indications of stability, which suggests that the conditions are favorable for yet another powerful move to occur sooner rather than later. But hold on, there is also something unusual that has been reported. It has been observed by experts that Shiba Inu's marketplace activity is exhibiting certain signs of a trend that is cause for alarm. In recent times, large investors, commonly referred to as whales, have not been as active as they were in the past. In point of fact, the number of Shiba Inu that are circulated via huge wallets has decreased, and this decline has occurred in only 1 week. It would seem from this that some of the more significant players are taking a step back. To add insult to injury, when this occurs, liquidity begins to decrease. A discernible decrease in the number of current wallets has occurred, and the quantity of new addresses that are being established has also decreased. When there are fewer individuals dealing and associating with Shiba Inu, it is just a matter of time until they go extinct. It's possible that individual investors are losing some of their interest in the market, and a change of this kind may unquestionably have an effect on the market. But hold on, this was abruptly altered since there are certain stories that were published today that completely shifted the course of events. Furthermore, it seems like the developers of Shiba Inu are working on something significant that will be released in the near future. I'll elaborate on it next time. But first, something really significant has just lately come to light, and this is just insane. In spite of this, it seems that Shiba Inu owners are not going to back down. In point of fact, they are clutching this much more tightly than before. The total quantity of Shiba Inu tokens owned by long-term investors, defined as those who have held onto their tokens for at least a year, has recently reached an all-time high, hitting well over 700 trillion tokens, as shown by the most recent data that has been added to the blockchain. The fact that this is taking place precisely in the thick of all this market turmoil is also noteworthy. This group of dedicated holders is not flinching despite the fact that prices have been unstable. On the contrary, they are amassing a greater number of Shiba Inu than ever before. A portion of this ever-increasing sum includes even the burn address, which is responsible for the irreversible removal of tokens from circulation. This is a great deal. It is an indication of high confidence in the potential of Shiba Inu when long-term investors begin to load up on their holdings. If this pattern continues, it has the potential to pave the way for something that is really explosive. The number of tokens that are accessible is decreasing as a result of the fact that more than 700 trillion coins are being held in more powerful hands. In addition, as demand begins to pick up again, this is the ideal circumstances for a price increase. If there is one thing that we have learned from the past, it is that times of buildup like this often result in something significant. This means that you shouldn't be startled if Shiba Inu makes a big move earlier than you anticipated. And while we're on the subject of power movements, another significant event occurred not too long ago. The team working on the Shiba Inu ecosystem has recently reached out to none other than Elon Musk in order to ensure that he and the rest of the globe are aware of how far they have come. In addition, if there is anybody who has the ability to change the course of history about a cryptocurrency with just a single tweet, it is him. This was all planned up by Lucy, who is the head of marketing. Over time, Shiba Inu has moved beyond simply relying on hype. As time has passed, the creators have been hard at work constructing a whole ecology that revolves around it. They have developed their very own blockchain, which makes transactions easier to complete and more competitively priced. In addition to growing the Shiba Inu brand outside the realm of digital tokens, they have entered the gaming and metaverse industries, bringing with them prizes that are based in the real world. They have agreed to substantial agreements with important companies in the blockchain, artificial intelligence, and finance industries, demonstrating that this initiative is not just about memes, but also about having real-world applications. And behind the curtain, they are always looking for new methods to cut down on the overall supply, which will eventually result in Shiba Inu being more difficult to locate. It is at this point that things start to take an intriguing turn. Over 700 trillion Shiba Inu coins are now in the possession of long-term holders, which is a higher number than at any other time in history. These are not individuals that are wanting to get their money quickly. The reason they are holding back is because they are anticipating a significant event. There is a possibility that everything will change in an instant if Elon Musk would admit this. What occurs when he even so much as talks a cryptocurrency is something that we have seen. As a result of the surge in new investors and the skyrocketing prices, momentum is gaining momentum like wildfire. As a result of the fact that investors have already locked up a significant number of Shiba Inu tokens, there would not be sufficient supply to meet the demand in the event that the hype balloons. Coins are able to make historic movements in this manner. The ideal storm of belief, attention, and scarcity all rolled into one. The type of event that can convert initial investors into millionaires is the kind that happened here. We are familiar with the circumstances. When Elon Musk sees what the Shiba Inu team has created and chooses to give it his approval, it is possible that the sky is not even the limit, and that the possibilities are endless. And here is some more. Another shocking revelation was made by Lucy, who is the primary marketing for Shiba Inu. This is something that you may want to hear if you are now experiencing feelings of uncertainty or perhaps a little bit of shakenness as a result of the market. It is now crystal obvious. Instead, the altcoin season will continue. Only a delay has occurred. This is a significant assertion, since previous events have shown that the majority of people are not prepared for the actual cryptocurrency rally when it begins. It is likely that by that time, a significant number of financiers will have already given up, lost patience, or invested in the incorrect location. But who are the true winners? It is they who are placing themselves at this time when prices are still relatively cheap, and the majority of the market is preoccupied with other things. In light of this, what does this imply for Shiba Inu? When the true momentum begins to kick in, it is not going to be incremental. Rather, it is going to be rapid. If this cycle continues to follow the same patterns as the previous one, then it will be explosive. Also, here is the secret. Because more than 700 trillion Shiba Inu coins are held in the hands of powerful individuals, the supply of Shiba Inu tokens may be far more limited than most people understand. Things are going to become very fascinating when there is a surge in demand and a rush of new investors getting involved. During times like this, people who panic and those who benefit are separated from one another. At this very moment, we are in that predicament when patience is being put to the test. Those who are paying closely, however, can see what is about to happen. Given that Lucy is correct and that history tends to repeat itself, it is possible that Shiba Inu is getting ready to go on a run that will take a lot of people by surprise. And for the intriguing part, here it is. Those of you who viewed our video the day before are already aware of this. The number of Shiba Inu available on exchanges is rapidly decreasing. In accordance with the most recent information provided by CryptoQuant, the quantity of Shiba Inu that are accessible for trade has reached its lowest point ever recorded. At the beginning of this year, there were much more tokens that were stored on exchanges. Now, however, that number has seen a significant decline. Take a moment to reflect on all that we have just discussed. More Shiba Inu are being accumulated by long-term holders than at any other time in history. Elon Musk is being called out by the development team, and these individuals are also reminding the world of all that they have constructed. Now we are seeing a rapid decrease in the reserves of exchange. In what way are these items related? Is a significant event imminently approaching? To put it simply, here's the deal. In the event that there are fewer tokens accessible on exchanges, this indicates that there is less pressure to sell. If there is an unexpected increase in demand, there simply will not be sufficient supply to meet the need. Price explosions are precisely the result of this phenomenon. Moreover, in the past, when we have seen a decline in reserves of this magnitude, it has often been followed by significant price movements. This also brings up a significant question. Who is making the purchase? Who is it that is removing all of these tokens from exchanges and keeping them for themselves? It is already common knowledge that long-term holders are accumulating. Still, what if there is more going on behind the curtain than meets the eye? Could it be that institutions are secretly amassing resources in preparation for a major run? Is it possible that whales are trying to give themselves an advantage over anything significant? It is also important to remember that the altcoin period is still a possibility. There has been a delay, not a cancellation, according to Lucy. In other words, when things do eventually start to take off, it can happen very quickly. On top of that, all of these indicators are going in the same direction, which is that holders are accumulating, supply is decreasing, and exchange reserves are decreasing. This may be the ideal situation for a supply shock. Is there a significant event that is going to take place? Mainly due to the fact that everything that we are seeing right now gives the impression that Shiba Inu could be getting ready for a time that will take a lot of people unexpectedly by surprise. However, what are your thoughts on this matter? Leave a comment down below. The day is over now. Remember to give it a big thumbs up. To see our most recent material, share it and subscribe to the channel.